Okay, so I have here an update of the HooToo Titan, the Tripmate Titan, and initially, so I didn't know I'd been using this for a while, so I kind of just wanted to give an update on it. This is how I initially had it set up. I had a piece of Velcro kind of strapped to the HooToo Titan. I had this little USB hub here that I connected to it, and this worked for a while, except, and it let me mount the it had the second one is under, let me just take the Velcro off. And the second one is under, was hiding there. This was the third one, and it also had room for a fourth USB, so I could actually mount four of them, which was pretty much the limit on the HooToo Tripmate. So unfortunately, this became a bit cumbersome. I kind of didn't like it. It would move around. It would, when this was charging or discharging, it would heat this up here on the bottom. So what I did is, go ahead and lay that down like that. I bought one of these. So I know at one point in one of my videos, I mentioned getting a right angled USB hub. The downside, or actually, it's not actually on, because the one thing you don't want to do, and this is kind of an update on that, is you don't actually want to yank a USB drive out while it's mounted. So unfortunately, this does not have a shutdown button. So in order to turn this off, you have to safely remove the USB drive and then shut this off. So it's kind of a two-step process, which can be a bit cumbersome, but given that you can run this for almost 8 hours, at least 8 hours, it's not such a huge deal. Right now, it's currently not on, obviously, because this light is either blue because it's on, or green because it's connected to the internet, providing internet access or network access to this. But this is currently off. But this is the kind of setup I have now. So I debated doing this with the right angled connector, and make sure I'll try and post a link to this right angle connector that I purchased, because you want one that goes down in this direction, not this direction. So you want to be careful that you buy the appropriate one, that it angles down, because as I mentioned, if you get the wrong one, you're going to end up with the connector in this direction, which is, oops, I'll put that back in view. You're going to end up with, if you purchase the wrong one, you're going to end up with a connector in this direction, which is not the desired direction. You want this direction so that it's at least even here. And, I still feel that this is a kind of an issue, because if you were to squeeze this, or if you put it in a bag, or however you decide to carry this still leads to be a bit flimsy, but it makes it very easy to stand up. And even if I put it on its side or stand it on this, it tends to hold. These USB drives, thumb drives, are way little to nothing. They're insignificant in terms of compared to the weight here of the HooToo Tripmate, but there isn't a lot of stress from the actual weight. Whereas as I previously had, with the setup of this, the USB hub here itself actually is fairly significant. And then you start adding USB drives to it, you can stress the connection here as such. And then you kind of have to twist it in a certain way or roll it over. And with this rolled over, as I had it before, it would hinder this connection here. But with the drive now here, I'm free to use this flap, so it makes it work out really, really well. One thing you'll notice is that the flap, because I tend to just have this connected the whole time, it's slowly starting to kind of edge out, but that's fine. I mean, I've already expected and figured that to happen, so it's not a huge issue. I mean, I understand exactly what I'm doing, so in terms of the use case of having this kind of hanging off that side. So the shutting down of the device is kind of a two-step process, but it's better to remove this, then shut it down, than it is to just shut the whole thing down, because you can eventually corrupt this. And I used to have 4 on here. The reason I'm only down to 3 is that's exactly what happened to one of my drives. So I knew better, but I didn't follow through with my own advice or my own best practices, and I lost a USB drive. But then again, I've condensed. This is a 64 gigabyte version. These are each 8. So what I've done is I've just moved everything to one drive, and that's why this is okay in terms of my current capacity of what I need for. So not a huge concern, especially, capacity for USB drives is going to keep going up. So there isn't a huge disadvantage to having a single drive. I can move things off and on. It's not a big immediate thing. Plus, I don't tend to go on ridiculously long road trips with people that want to see like 10, 15 movies. And even then, if you convert your movies down right, with a, what are the thumb drives now, like 128 gigabytes or maybe 256, you can get a really good sized one, and at maybe 1.5 gigs per movie, that's more than enough. So let's see, that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else. Still the same kind of issues apply in terms of when you're charging this, the top of the unit will get warm to the touch. So yeah, pretty much this is my current configuration. So now I've replaced my Velcro and unpowered USB hub with just a 90-degree single USB drive. And as I mentioned, just be very cautious or conscious of the fact that you don't buy a right angle connector that's going to end up with your drive like this. All right. If anyone has any comments, questions, complaints, just go ahead and leave me a comment. And hopefully everyone enjoyed this. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.